Please introduce yourself, state your name and DOC number for the record.
My name is Kenneth Lesley, 472270. Good morning.
All right, Mr. Leslie, my name's Brendan Kelsey. Along with me is Miss Bonnie Jackson and Ms. Cheryl Notch will be your panel. I'll explain the process to you, read some information to the record, have a parole interview, ask you some questions. You can respond at the end. You can make a statement. We'll take a vote. Do you understand the process?
Yes, sir.
Okay, and we have, at the appropriate time, we'll have Mr. Hunley will speak. We also have Christina Kelly, Rachel Leslie, Zach Nunley, Joel Leslie, Dolores Hendricks, Madeline Calera, Joseph Calera, Fred Carreras. That's some in support. All right, Kenneth Lesley DOC number 472270. You're a first class offender, parole eligibility date 3/2/2023, good time 3/6/2085, full term 17/21/01, second degree murder. And you had a commutation of sentence on March the 2nd, 2023, signed by Governor Edwards. Does that sound correct?
Yes, sir.
Okay, how old are you, Mr. Leslie?
I'm 56,
How many years have you been incarcerated?
21 and a half.
And what do you currently do there at the facility?
I am currently, my job is reentry electrical one mentor,
And you're a trustee?
class A. Yes, sir.
How long?
I believe since 2011 or 2014, it was somewhere around there. I got my status.
Okay. When's the last time you had a disciplinary write-up?
2012.
Well, looks like you have 5 total disciplinary write-ups since you've been there. Does that sound right?
Yes, sir.
Really good disciplinary history. So what are your plans? Where are you going to go? What you going to do if you're released early?
Well, my plans are first go to the parole project to help me transition back into the society and get started there, and they'll help me with my resident plan and a job plan at first. And then once I leave there, I have a place to go. I'll be living with my mother, Mr. Dolores Hendricks, in Pearl River, Louisiana. And I have job opportunities from friends to work at. I got one job opportunity, drive a forklift at a shipyard. I have my son here who's sitting here, my son-in-law, Zach, who has a job, has a business, and he drives trucks. I just have plenty of work. I have no problem with getting a job. It's not an issue.
Obviously this crime it's a tough crime here. Were you on drugs or alcohol? You had an alcohol problem, drug problem, anything like that?
No, sir. There was no drugs. But we were drinking that night. Yes, sir.
And without going, you'll have to go briefly. Tell me what happened. Explain. I'm just trying to piece it together here. Tell me about the crime.
Okay. Well, it's very emotional.
Sure.
Very emotional for me and my
Right.
family who are sitting beside me, and my daughters of the victim is sitting behind me right now.
I understand.
And it's hard to relive this moment. We went out. We've been having trouble in our relationship, but we went out and had a good nights out. And toward the end of the night, it kind of turned bad. We started arguing. We got back to the trailer. Tina went in first, and I went in behind her, and We started arguing again. And at some point, I grabbed the weapon in our arguments, and she grabbed the phone, and I got angry with her, and that's when it happened. That's when I did what I did. And that's it. I mean, that is what happened, you know, without getting into all the details. And I'm
You
sorry
said you,
that
what's that?
I'm sorry that we have to come to this day, but you know, that's what happened.
And you said you were drinking at the time?
Yes, sir. We had been drinking all night. We were both intoxicated.
And had you had a history of some marital problems?
Yes, sir. Off and on, we were having a rough time.
Do you have a high school diploma or GED?
Yes, sir. I have a GED. Got in 1986, Shaman High School.
And what kind of classes have you taken in there to try to help you with this situation?
I've taken anger management. I've had thinking for a change, victims awareness. I've had everything I could get into to help become a better person.
And what classes helped you the most?
Victims awareness, thinking for a change, and anger management were probably two of the big ones. You know, learning how to. It helped me learn how to reflect instead of react, and you know how to notice my triggers. When it comes to thinking for a change, I'm able to think and realize what I'm thinking before I react. You know, sometimes something happens, we just react before we think, and you have to think of what you're thinking before it goes on. And then you have what's called the iceberg effect, you know, where there's unseen dangers in a situation. So always being mindful of that, it enables me, with these two programs, enables me to breathe, step back, and think of what's going on, and realize what's actually going on, and not let anger or anything control me. You know, and that's the biggest thing that I've learned here.
Okay, Warden, you have any input for us?
Yes, just to let you know that Kenneth Lesley does serve as a reentry mentor in the court order reentry program. But before that, he also was a certified VOTEC tutor with the horticulture program. He has a plethora of certificates in carpentry, horticulture, auto tech, electrician, IC3, which is digital literacy. He's did AANA. He's also completed the New Orleans Baptist Theological Seminary. So Mr. Lesley is equipped with all the necessary tools to become a law-abiding and tax-paying citizen if he's returned back to society.
All right, thank you. Thank you. All right, we'll hear from Andrew Hunley.
Andrew Hundley, representing Louisiana Parole Project, to confirm that Kenneth is a client of our organization. If he's released, he will immediately come into our transitional housing program, where he will have access to our staff social worker, where we will offer him a complete mental health and substance abuse evaluation, and we'll work with him to ensure that he takes advantages of whatever recommendations our staff social worker gives him. Also, he'll have access and be expected to complete our life skills training over the first month or so of his release. But for a minimum of 1 year, he will have access and will have the support of our organization, including a case manager who's assigned to him. And that's just a minimum of 1 year. We're here to support Kenneth as long as he needs us past that 1 year, based on his skills, his disciplinary record, and everything he's done within the institution. We do believe he's an excellent candidate for release. He's a very skilled electrician, and we feel confident that he's going to have no problem finding employment and being able to be successful as he rebuilds his life with the excellent family support that he has. Thank you.
All right, thank you. All right, Mr. Leslie, Mr. Renatzer has a question for you.
Mr. Leslie, was there a history of domestic abuse within your household?
I'm sorry, say it again.
Was there a history of domestic abuse in your household?
There was verbal abuse, definitely.
Physical abuse?
There was a couple of times it got physical, but nothing like it was that night.
Never any situation where Tina had marks on her from you?
Yes. Yes, ma'am.
Never, or there were?
Yes, ma'am, there was.
That's all.
All right, would you like to make a statement on your behalf?
As I've done before, I have prepared a statement, and it's my statement, and I'm already an emotional person and nervous. So I hope you accept this statement as sincere and towards those people I've hurt. I'd just like to thank your board, the pardon board members, and the governor in the state of Louisiana for affording this opportunity to stand before you today and be allowed to make this brief statement. I'd like to thank administration and all who labor to make this hearing possible, and also my family and friends and support for your forgiveness, encouraging and love. Thank you. Encouragement and love. Thank you. Once again, being obedient to God, humbly I ask the people of Tina's family and the community to forgive me for my past selfish, unthoughtful actions that scarred you over 21 years ago. Admitting and taking full responsibility for my actions, repenting, and wanting to turn back the hands of time, wishing there was some way to change that moment and take away your pain. My daughters, Christina Kelly and Rachel Nunley, have forgiven me and to hear in support of my release. Christina, Rachel, my mother and family have served hard time. Understand the need for incarceration, I have taken every opportunity to grow and rehabilitate myself in this environment. We're asking this board for mercy and a chance to prove to our community Kenneth Lesley is a mature, unselfish man ready to start a new journey. As a founder of the program called Tyro states in many of his classes, mountains weren't made to be carried, but made to be climbed. But I've learned this. Finally, knowing the past can never be changed, knowing there is nothing I could ever do, I will always carry the gravity of what was taken and what was lost. So please forgive me. Excuse me. As stated by Ms. Gwen Owens at a parole hearing after serving 26 years on death row in Tennessee, none of us are guaranteed tomorrow, hoping to one day be allowed to have our tomorrows together. My daughter's family and I now ask the same. Thank you, boy.
All right. Mr. Leslie, you've done a lot of time, done a lot of good work in the facility. 5 write-ups, and the time you spent is pretty impressive. The crime wasn't a terrible crime. It doesn't take away from you the pain that you've caused her family, your family, everybody involved. But you put the time in. For me, you put the time in. My vote would be to grant your parole. I want you to have a curfew from, grant you to the Louisiana Parole Project. I want you to have a curfew from 10 p to 6 a. I want you to maintain full-time employment. I want you to go to NAA 1 time a week. And I want you to enter into a 26-week domestic violence program to be involved in that. That's a 26-week program, but I'm just one vote. That's my vote. Ms. Renatza?
Mr. Leslie, I do concur with my colleague. My vote today is to grant. You've got a good record. You had positive remarks by the warden there. You have support from the victim's family, which is also your family, with the same special conditions. Good luck.
Thank you.
And Mr. Leslie, my vote is the same. Good luck.
3 votes to grant your parole. You understand the stipulations?
Yes, sir.
All right, 3 votes to grant your parole. Parole's been granted. Good luck to you.
Thank you, sir.